My name's Megan Beswick, and this is my presentation on the future of sustainable beef production within the UK. My study tour began at SRUC in Scotland, firstly looking at the feed efficiency trial shed, seeing the work being done on finishing stock bulls as well as young calves. I then also got to see the methane chambers where the beef feed efficiency programme is running alongside Genus ABS, comparing genomic values against raw feed efficiency data to test reliability. I also got to look inside the chambers, and understanding how the animals adapt to this and manage the stress was extremely interesting. And then in January, I attended the Oxford Farming Conference, where I got to learn further about regenerative farming practices and how this can be applied within beef units, as well as speaking to industry experts about what challenges they thought were facing the industry. I then attended the British Cattle Breeders Conference, where a lot of the topics were surrounding carbon footprinting and what farmers need to do in order to reduce this, and also start working towards feed efficiency and collecting your own data to improve genetics going forward. I then went over to Northern Ireland to visit the foil finishing farm of excellence. It was extremely interesting to see the feed efficiency work being done, but also that to do with sustainability and how they're combating manure management, increasing productivity, and also working within their fields to improve worm count and soil biodiversity. I then went on to visit one of the Arc Zero farmers, John Edgerton, who is also the president of the Northern Ireland Grassland Society. He is the only farmer currently in Fermanagh that put in mixed sward species, and last year alone, when compared to his other rotational grazing paddocks on the same stocking density, this field didn't require any additional fertiliser whatsoever, which massively reduced his carbon footprint across the farm. This is something he's hoping to bring to light and share with the rest of the country and encourage farmers over Northern Ireland to partake in. He also has a blade calf rearing unit turning out 500 calves annually, as he believes that integrated supply chains are the future. It was also interesting to see that all cows over here, beef predominantly, are on slats and they are not straw bedded, as straw simply isn't available as it is in England. I then went down to Somerset to visit Butelar's calf rearing unit, housing up to 1,500 calves at any time. It was a very impressive sight. Due to the turnover, they're currently doing work with a vet school and pharmaceutical trials, looking at knockout disbudding practices in order to reduce stress and maintain feed intakes and growth rates for young animals. It was also great to see enrichment being used in the pens, as this links to my dissertation topic at university. With these all being dairy cross beef calves, it's also great to see another integrated supply chain, and on top of that, their feed efficiency work is done with weighted feed bins, which is something any farmer could take up in order to start doing their own trials. And whilst this brief 3-minute video doesn't even begin to cover the knowledge that I have gained as a result of this trip, being able to go up and down the country and over to Northern Ireland to see the work being done on all different types of beef production systems. From the growing popularity of integrated supply chains, seen both with ABP Blade and Butelar, to seeing the welfare trials and enrichment devices being used, especially as a result of the new DEFRA calf housing grant stating that all calves require environmental enrichment within their housing. It will be interesting to see how this comes forward in years to come with the rest of the cattle species. This is also linked to my dissertation. It was also great to see the methane chambers in action up in Scotland, as well as understand how the raw data is actually being used alongside the genomics to work out the validity of this, as well as the sward work being done in Northern Ireland. Even though it's done in England as well, it's great to see it being adapted in areas where grants aren't received. Overall, I've had a more rounded view of how the future of the beef industry across the UK will look in years to come, and it's all thanks to this study tour.